Hey everyone, welcome back to my live stream. Actually, just give me a second here. Okay, I'm back. Alrighty, let's see here. Yeah, so I'm working on episode 13. I guess it'd be spoilers, like, if you were to watch this. I'm not gonna give away like story spoilers or anything, but you might see a few shots or something like that. Hey guys, welcome to everyone who's new and who's just found out about the interface stuff from other channels like Nexpo and stuff like that. People are still discovering the web series, even though I started about a year ago and part 1 is finished. I am now working on part 2, so that will be so starting with episode 13. And yeah, man. Okay. One more thing I want to show you guys before I get started. I'm gonna plug my merch, not my merch, my CDs here. Carolina is making farting noises in the background, so if you hear anything like that, it's Carolina. So these are the CDs that came in a couple weeks ago, and I've been selling them on my Bandcamp page. So if you guys are interested, they are on my Bandcamp, and they have some artwork from the web series, and they're in this really nice cardboard, well, not cardboard, I guess it's just board case. Says there, interface on the side, original soundtrack, part 1. There's some artwork on the back here. It's got all the titles of the songs there, and the music is like one continuous. There's like there's 15 songs on here, but it's mixed so that it plays seamlessly, I guess. The disc is like kind of shiny, and it's got the cerebral electricity design on the front. It was kind of cool. So yeah, I've been putting those out on my Bandcamp, and vinyls are coming very soon too. I had some problems with the test pressings, unfortunately, so the vinyl pre-orders are going to be delayed a little bit, a couple weeks, I think. I got the test pressings; they sound good. There's a technical problem with them that they have to fix on the masters, not the masters, on the stampers, the metal stampers. When they made the stampers, there's an issue with. So I'll let you guys know about that too. But for now, I'm going back to Photoshop here. Okay. Michael, where am I from? I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. So, and Caroline is from Poland. So that's why there's some Polish stuff in the web series. If people are wondering. Is there hidden codes in the CD? No, I didn't actually put any like Easter eggs in this or stuff in the CD. It's just the CD, nothing, no tricks or anything, no hidden tracks. Because I had a CD once that had like hidden tracks in it, and there's not really much you can do. Besides like having this like section of silence and then having a track after that silence. And if you're listening to music, like I had a CD and like you listen to it and all of a sudden there's just like no music for like 5 minutes and you're like, what the hell's going on? Oh, it's that track that has a hidden song on it. So I didn't want to do anything like that. no chance of a cassette. Well, the thing is that I could make cassettes. I just don't really know how well they would sell, and so for now, I still have a lot of CDs to go sell through, and the vinyls are pretty much almost half sold, I think, the pre-orders. So there may be a cassette in the future, but it really depends if there's like a really big demand, and and I also have this other stuff I have to sell that I have to break even on. So anyways, so I have this owl here I'm drawing for a shot in episode 13. And yeah, I'm drawing the wide shot of it. So Carolyn has also been helping me out with the owl stuff, but I'm doing a wide shot of this one while it's flying. Oops, I'm drawing on the picture, which is a mistake. How many vinyls are going to be pressed? 300 is what I ordered. So I think I sold like 120 roughly. So there's still a lot left over that will be left over. And, I hope to have them starting to ship around mid-June. Unfortunately, like I said before, they're going to be a little bit delayed because there's an issue with the test pressings. But they will be done properly, that's for sure. I'll make sure everything's high quality and, they're going to be pretty cool. Otherwise, I was listening to the test pressings on my record player, and they sound great, except for the problem. So, that major problem. Once that problem's fixed, they're going to sound really good. Can we ever see someone speak Polish in interface? Yeah, I don't see why not. It's possible. There could be a character, maybe like one of Henrik's like old family relatives or something. But we'll see. So I got French, English, and a little bit of Japanese, and I want to kind of make interface like sort of an international sort of thing. So I want to have a lot of different languages, and that's partially why Henrik is Polish, and I want to work in a few other different types of nationalities and that sort of thing. Because I got fans from all over the world here watching these interface stuff, and you guys, I really appreciate how you guys translate them all in the different languages. I think interface is like translated into like 13 different languages, like Hungarian, Russian, and Polish, English, well, English obviously, French, Spanish sometimes. So that's pretty cool. Because it's not easy making those translations. Can you go into the technical details of what's wrong with the stamper? I always found vinyl production to be fascinating. Well, they're figuring. I sent in a ticket, whatever, right? And they're going to get back to me to figure out exactly what went wrong. But my assumption, from what I understand, is that it sounded like they made the stampers at the wrong kilobits per second. That's what I think it is what happened. So basically, I gave them a 48 kilobits per second audio master, and they made the stampers at 44.1. So basically, the test pressings are like a little bit slow pitch sounding. They sound slow, and I did some tests, and I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99.9% sure that's what went wrong with them. So yeah, I'll find out officially in like about 4 or 5 days, I guess. So if you want to get technical, that's basically what I think happened. I mean, I don't know yet. They have to get back to me. But they said to me that it was like unusual for something like that to happen. So I think it's just somewhere down the line there was a mistake, I think, and oh well. How did you manage to focus on both animating and music creation and running a YouTube channel on top of that? Well, Shogun, I was making music. If you go to my Bandcamp page, my music, like I started uploading it in 2009, basically. So no one was really listening to it. And then my friend came over. I used to make animations a long, long time ago. And so I had all this music that I could use, and I decided to start making these animations. So that's why the first 3 ones, the McDonald's ones, are all my old music tracks from Bandcamp. And once I started doing that, I realized it's a good way to promote my music, and also these animations were popular on their own, so I was able to combine the two. But I took about 10 years to kind of just like get the grips with my music. Like, honestly, the first album I made isn't really the best, and the second one's all right, but I think they definitely start sounding better if you listen to them like sequentially. Like the later ones sound like they were mixed better, and it is a little bit overwhelming actually. But if you just take a little step at a time, it's not too bad. I am running the risk of overworking myself a little bit here.
Little bit. You're like maxed out.
Caroline is yelling in the background, I guess. Here's the thing: you just take a little bit of, you just do a little bit each day, right?
Yeah, and then
If I get one shot done a day, then it's not a big deal. But the thing is, it adds up, and then after a month, or after a year of doing this, you do kind of get a little tired of it. You get a little burnt out, a little bit. I'm trying not to get burnt out, so that's why, unfortunately, I haven't been uploading as frequently as I used to. Sometimes I had like
what are you talking about?
4.
You uploaded up. What the fuck?
Steve Hielt. Dude, the soundtrack is fucking amazing. Can't wait for the vinyl to show up. Hey man, thank you a lot for pre-ordering that. And yeah, dude, I think they're gonna start showing up around mid to late June, unfortunately, because of the issue with the stampers and stuff. But they're gonna sound sweet. I'm so excited about them. And the CDs turned out awesome. So. Do you plan on sending the CD and vinyl to some stores, or are you just going to have it on Bandcamp only? For now, it's just going to be on Bandcamp, but I'm not really like big enough to be able to like put it in stores. I don't think I ever really. I mean, also it's kind of a niche thing, right? A web series soundtrack. So, however, I know on Teespring they have the option to, if you sell enough stuff with them, you can send them basically a box of CDs, and then they will sell them for you. And you might be able to I might be able to send them to a warehouse in like Europe or something, because I think they have a distribution center there too. So that might make it a little bit cheaper for people on the other side of the world to be able to order them through Teespring. But for now, everything's just on Bandcamp until further notice. So, okay, let's get this owl here. I'm gonna draw a background in here, white for now. Why is eggplant laying on a bed? I don't know if you know who Grimace is, but that's not an eggplant, but it's I don't know, what the hell is Grimace anyway? He's just like a purple triangle. Have you seen Smile Guide? Yeah, actually, I did see those Polish animation things. They're Yeah, it's cool. Just sneak some onto the shelves at Target. I had, well, Target went bankrupt here in Canada. Let me just reset this thing here. Okay. Yeah. Jeremiah Perez, do you want to do anything else with Adult Swim? Maybe, but the thing is that those animations I did for Adult Swim were like really not stressful. They were just a lot of work, I guess, because I try to make put extra effort into them and stuff, and I think it actually makes more sense for me to just continue doing animations on my own channel until, like, if Adult Swim wanted to do like a pilot or something, I would consider it. But otherwise, if it's just like short little animations, I don't really see the reason to do it with them anymore because, you know, I don't really have a reason, I guess. But it was fun to do them for sure. I mean, it was. But I prefer to just like kind of just do things, and I don't know. I feel like when I have a client, I try to sometimes I overdo it. Like I want to make it look perfect and stuff. But when I make it for my own channel, I don't worry too much, and I take more like I make things a little bit just bizarre, I guess. Even though Adult Swim is pretty bizarre, they pretty much accept anything that's weird. I don't know. It's in my head, I guess. So I'm going to try to animate this owl too a little bit. I'm going to have his wings fluttering around a bit. How was it like working with them? Well, it was pretty laid back. They're just kind of like, hey, do you have any ideas? And then you just give them a bunch of ideas. I think I pitched to them like maybe eight different ideas, and they accepted the 4 that I made. So, or I might have actually made more. I pitched them like 10 different ideas, and some of the ideas weren't that good. It's really hard to come up with ideas for animations. Like, that's partially why they take me so long, is because it's not the actual animation work that's hard. It's the coming up with the idea part. And I don't want to just like pump out crappy ideas. Like I could just pump out like whatever, you know, every week, but it's not gonna. They wouldn't be as quality based. I guess, you know, they wouldn't be as funny or something, you know. So I prefer to release like less, if you know, when I feel like I have a good idea. Hey, Michael Jones. Do not overwork yourself. Go eat some chicken McNuggets or something. Hey, dude. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm trying not to overwork myself. Finally, things are warming up here in Canada, so I can go outside once in a while. I think that's part of the issue. You just stay indoors all winter, and then get like vitamin D deficiency. Hey, Johnny W. Supersize.
Vitamin D.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate that, dude. Do you voice mischief yourself? Yes, Joel. I do. I do mischief's voice, and I do a bunch of compression and pitch shifting and stuff to make him lower pitch. What is this guy saying here? Apparently, Grimace was originally evil Grimace and used to steal stuff with his 4 arms. Oh my god. What? Okay.
Is he really?
If you guys can see this. He just looks like a blob in a cave. That is pretty funny.
I thought he was a starfish at first.
I don't know what he is. Hold on here. Some stuff happening here. Thoyo, what do you think of Nexpo's video? What is interface? Thoyo, thank you, man. Appreciate that super chat. I think Nexpo did an excellent analysis, well, not analysis, but like an overview. He pretty much kind of did like an overview of what interface is, but he didn't dwell too much into the possible deeper meanings. I think there was another channel, Nightmare Expo, that kind of talked more about the potential like subtext, or I guess the meaning behind it a little bit more. So I appreciated Nexpo's review for one, bringing in a ton of viewers, and also for as an overview of the series. I think he did an excellent job. And Nightmare Expo did an excellent job of kind of trying to figure out the some of the meaning behind some of the things, I guess. Rocky Desert Flower. Why McDonald's and Campbell's? Hey, Rocky Desert Flower. I appreciate that. There's no real reason. I don't know. I mean, like, McDonald's was just one of those things I thought was funny, and Campbell's soup. When I made the first soup video, I didn't have Campbell's soup in mind, but they came around later, so. And let's see here. What were the rejected ideas? I'm trying to think now. One of them was, one of the ideas was like Spackle Man. Do you guys know what Spackle is?
You should still make that one by yourself. Spackle Man was pretty funny.
Like when you're fixing the drywall in your house, you have to like fix the holes with spackle and stuff, right? And I had this idea called Spackle Man, where there would be like some just crappy house, like the owner didn't give a shit, and Spackle Man would like come into your house, and it would eject out of his hands like Spider-Man, but it wouldn't be like spider webs, it would be spackle, and he'd just smooth over the walls and then like stare down the owner, basically while he was doing it, and he would say something like,
no, it was during a crime scene. Like, a crime would happen.
oh yeah, that's what it was.
Right? And like, the FBI and the police would show up trying to get evidence, and then Spackle Man would show up and start, like, covering up all the evidence because he's fixing the wall.
Yeah, there's, like, bullet holes in the wall.
You're not helping.
Yeah, there'd be, like, bullet holes in the wall from a crime scene. Spackle Man comes over and like, spackles over the bullet holes. And then the FBI guy's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's like, I can't help it. I'm Spackle Man.
Like, he just can't contain himself.
So that was one of the rejected ideas.
I don't know, it's pretty funny, so should probably make that one.
It's kind of, it's not really my style. That's more of like a robot chicken kind of joke, you know?
More of my kind of joke.
It's kind of like it's not really an umami joke, but
There's an ant on the wall.
It is funny though. Yeah, we got ants in this apartment I gotta deal with.
Does anybody want music? Should order music so I can mail it today.
Everyone loves Spackle Man.
Yeah, I told you. See? It's comedic genius.
This was rejected. Why?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. These producers, they don't know what they're doing.
I don't know.
Some of the things they put up on their channel lately, I'm like, that's pretty bad. They could have put Spackle Man there, but you know.
Spackle Man. I might do actually Spackle Man. Now I think about it, it's pretty funny. It's just...
Okay, we laughed like 4 times just telling the story, so it's probably funny.
What were some of the other ideas? You remember?
We made the bowling alley one. I can't remember. See, clearly they weren't that good, because we forgot about them.
Spackle Man's the only one I really remember.
Spackle Man actually needs to be made, though. The Spackler.
The Spackler. I think that's a better name, actually. The Spackler.
Yeah, but then you can't have like a Spider-Man type theme.
That's true.
You can't be like Spackle Man. Spackle. Nobody needs him, but he's there anyway.
He like lives at Home Depot.
He lives in the ceiling of Home Depot.
Oh God. Okay.
He was like created in a Home Depot, like a mad scientist construction guy. It's like in his attic experimenting with like uranium and spackle.
Oh God. All right, I think I might have to do Spackle Man. This is funny.
See, I'm funny.
The Spackler. Hey Thoyo, thank you for that name. I might use Spackle Man. All right, the Spackler. Spackler. Chill of Soup. I just bought your soundtrack and the vinyl version. I'm your soup son. Hey, Chill of Soup. I really appreciate that. And if you bought the combo, they're both going to ship at the same time, and it will be like, you know, when the vinyls show up in about a month and a half. So
if anybody wants to buy a CD now, so I can like ship it in the next 2 hours, it's probably a good idea.
The CDs though, I am shipping like today. So
because I got more orders, I got to print out shipping labels for. So
the Blue Headsby. There's a vinyl pre-order. Yeah. There's vinyl pre-orders, and then there's vinyl plus CDs, and then they ship at the same time, so they go out at the same time the vinyls show up. So
what's your Twitch name? I think it's Umami Animation.
The Man Spackler. Maybe have you already considered doing a QA in the future? Maybe just I kind of do QA as my stream, but maybe like a dedicated QA. I guess I could do.
How much more QA do you need?
Okay. Let me just move on here a bit. I need to draw my owl. He's a snow owl, so he's a...
This is all that goes in these, right? You just put a CD in?
Yep. That's it.
I feel like this should be more complicated for some reason.
Nope. What is the worst movie you've seen unironically? Unironically, like you watched it.
Not The Wicker Man, because that's a great, terrible movie.
Well, yeah, the Wicker Man you watch ironically because it's the new one from 2006 with Nicolas Cage. The worst movie I've seen though. Actually, well, it was a documentary. Remember that movie we saw, The Workers or something like that?
Oh, well, that's not fair though. That's an independent movie.
Yeah, it's not okay. So like a Hollywood movie. Let's see.
That was terrible, but it was independent. So what do you expect?
Okay, I don't need that anymore. Hold on.
I don't know. The Book of Eli made me walk out of the theater.
Oh, The Book of Eli. I didn't really like that movie too much. I forget why. It's been a long time since I've seen it. So. That's a hard question. I'd have to think about that. I don't really know, man.
Can't say your honest answer.
Oh, if you guys are looking for me on Twitch, it's Umami Animations. UMAMI Animations, all one word. The Book of Eli, yeah, I think that's what was wrong with it, was the ending. It wasn't so much... The movie itself was okay, but then the ending, I think, is what threw us off. It was so long, I don't even remember what happened, so can't really say.
I mean, there's a lot of bad horror movies, I guess. That, what was that movie called? Event Horizon or something?
Yeah, but that was good in like a bad sort of way.
Not really.
No, all the gore and stuff?
I don't like it.
I thought it was alright for a sci-fi gore horror movie. Well, I guess
I don't like watching some guy get filleted at the end.
Have you guys ever seen Event Horizon, the movie?
You think it's a normal sci-fi movie.
It starts out pretty good, actually.
And then it just goes just completely off the wall. Like, it's extremely gory.
Yeah.
Like, the most gore I've probably seen in a movie in a while.
It was fucked up kind of gore, too.
Yeah. Like, psychopath level.
Oh, the Blue Head Spy. Hold on, let me just pull up a link here to the Bandcamp. I don't have a link there.
Yeah, come on, guys. I gotta go to an appointment in a couple hours, so I'm gonna take a bunch of CDs with me to the post office, so you should get some now!
My pen.
Justin.
Alright. There's a link to the Bandcamp. Sorry for that. I didn't post it anywhere. The Cloverfield Paradox was profoundly disappointed. David Bean.
True.
That's a good point. Everyone was hyping it on Reddit when it came out, and then I went to watch like the first scene. And I'm like, this is gonna be trash. I can just tell from the first scene. I couldn't watch the rest of it. I just.
It was really bad.
I couldn't get into it. Sometimes you can tell, like in the first scene, if a movie's gonna be.
The first 10 minutes, if a movie's extremely boring, it's probably gonna be boring for the rest of the 90 minutes.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm pretty selective about what movies I watch, so I usually don't end up watching really bad ones. But, yeah, that one kind of, I can't really say that I hated it because I didn't see the whole thing. I only saw like the first like 20 minutes or so. I forget how much I watched, but it wasn't good. You know what? Most Netflix movies, I just can't even get into them at all. Like, I think Netflix is just... I don't know. Anything that's actually produced by Netflix, I don't really enjoy. There's like a few exceptions. I find what they're doing now, though, with the documentaries, too, is they're taking stuff that already exists, like episodes of Dateline, and then they're just making a movie about it. And it's pretty much the same thing. Almost. There's a few of those kind of murder mystery sort of things. Benevolent Owl God. Hey, dude, thank you so much for listening. I listened to it so much in Bandcamp, it's now telling me I have to buy it. Hey, Benevolent Owl God. I don't know if you have Spotify or not, but it's also on Spotify, so you can stream it there like a million times. I don't think it will ask you to buy it or anything, so... and it should also be able to stream on like Apple Music and YouTube. Music.youtube.com. If you type in interface soundtrack, I think that will pop up too. You can watch that. You can stream it that way. You don't have to pay for it or anything. You guys ever go to music.youtube.com? It's actually pretty good. I like turning that on sometimes when I'm drawing. I can find a lot of different musicians that I've never heard of before. I do find the main homepage of Bandcamp to be a little bit more useful when I'm finding like music that interests me sometimes too. But I usually just watch MCU movies. I was excited for Star Wars, but I kind of lost interest in those. Matt Wacom. Wacom. Are you going to put up signed vinyls available to purchase? Matt, I might, but I might just wait until I actually get them before I start doing that. Because, I mean, I guess there's no reason for me to wait, but... the problem is that they're shrink wrapped, and so the ones that are signed, I'd have to take them out of the shrink wrap, and then sign them, obviously, and then I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just that the shrink wrapping kind of keeps everything together when it ships. So I might have to figure out how to ship the ones that are signed. Maybe put it in a plastic sleeve or something too. I also don't want to like damage the board, like the jackets, I guess. So maybe if I was like really careful and I just cut the shrink wrap on the side and I could put it back in the shrink wrap sleeve, maybe. Sign the shrink wrap. CDs, there's going to be CDs available for quite a while. I have a lot of them, so they'll be around for quite a bit. Okay, so if I play this back now, I got a bird that's kind of moving around a little bit. I need to make more changes here. The edges of the feathers should be rippling. Probably more than that too, actually. So what I'll do is make a new layer. You Steamfunk and you guys, what I would do is just wait, because what I'm gonna do is make announcements when they show up. So I don't, I think. I don't think they're going to sell out the vinyls by the time they show up. I still have more than half of them available. So I think if I were you guys, I would just wait before making a pre-order. And then, because there's no real advantage to pre-ordering other than it just helps me pay the deposit on, the vinyls themselves. I don't know what people usually do when they sell vinyls. Does episode 13 follow Henrik's story or does it follow something new? Hey, Stefan. It's going to take off from the end of episode 11. So when Mischief and Henrik are driving away, I think that's what's going to happen. This particular part of the episode, though, I'm not sure if they're going to be here. I don't like giving away what's going to happen in advance because I might change it. So either this episode or next, you'll see Mischief and Henrik again. And you won't see the blimp guy for a while. I'm going to be focusing on Henrik and Mischief for the next little bit because they're the main characters, really. When should I check back in? I would say probably mid-June. Because that's when I should have them. Approximately. Mid to late June, unfortunately. It got pushed back. But I'm going to put announcements on pretty much all my social media. So if you've subscribed to me or follow my Twitter or whatever, you'll get the notice. You don't have to check back or anything. See what's going on here. It looks like there's too much black in this shot, so let me see if I can erase some of that. Oh yeah, you guys, if you're asking about the inspirations and stuff, I encourage you to check out the description of this live stream because I wrote a bunch of stuff down there. Hey buddy, I've been listening to a lot of your enjoyable sounds and I have to say I love at least half of it. Thanks for the playlist. Hey Mbuya, Mbambaya. You're welcome, man. That's the music I like to listen to, and it could be a little outdated now. There's probably some tracks on there that I would remove, but yeah, that's kind of stuff that I listen to, I guess. I've been kind of adding to it for the past year. Now there's already there's almost, I think there's 90 songs maybe. I'm not sure how long. There's a lot on there though. I also got that YouTube Gold playlist with a lot of funny videos on there. Is Hex System all of your music, or does it come from a bunch of different artists? Everything that's on Hex System was made by me, like 100% of it. I haven't actually really done any collaborations with different musicians, so. Not yet, anyway. Okay. One more layer here. This is just for the small little details that I want to fix things up. Put some, I think a little bit more orange in the eye. There we go. Okay, so that's like, oh, there's another issue here. I need more gray ruffles on this wing. Which DAW do you use for music? I use Logic. Pretty much use Logic and Audacity exclusively. Now this layer, we'll just kind of make that chill out a bit, I think. Let's see. Yeah, looks alright. I think I need more stuff down here happening. Okay. Last thing, this wing right here needs some stuff. Hello, I love your work. It leaves me always wanting more. I've got a question though. Were the monsters in the Hazmat's monster collection really just Mischief and Ghost? Will we see the third monster? Actually, as far as I know, Mischief doesn't appear in that commercial. But will we see the third monster? There's going to be a bunch. I mean, basically the idea is that there's a whole bunch of them. It's just, they're not like super prevalent. There will be more though. Most likely. Logic is a nice for the animation. You animate individual frames, individual elements in Photoshop, and combine them in After Effects or Premiere. Hey, Mr. Phil. Yeah, that's basically the idea. I do the drawings in Photoshop, and sometimes I just put them right into Premiere, but other times I do the compositing in After Effects. And there's other programs for animation that other than Photoshop, right? But the reason why I like using it is because I can just, like, if I can just quickly fix something in Photoshop, it will update it across all the programs. I don't have to, like, export a PNG sequence or anything like that. There we go. That's looking better. That looks pretty good now, I say. Okay, so after this, he's gonna, like, his wings are gonna shift a little bit, I think. This is gonna be tricky to do, but I'll give it a go. Let me just save this. Oops. I could probably close Premiere. I don't really need that running in the background. Jose Snyder. The ship date on the CDs is like today, like they ship them out every other day, and the vinyls are shipping in like mid to late June, so they got pushed back a little bit because they're still fixing the problem with the stampers. I just want to drop in and say thank you. Hey, Mac Fontaine, appreciate your comment, man. Appreciate it. And everyone else. If I hadn't responded to everyone, I'm sorry. I just don't. I can't. It's hard for me to read everything sometimes. So. Hey, Tom Peck, what do you think lies beyond the cosmic horizon? I personally think Banana Land is what lies beyond. It's, yeah, man. I was reading this book called Astrophysics for Those in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson on Carolina's e-reader. I just finished that. It's a pretty interesting book, actually. It kind of summarizes the universe and how things are and that sort of thing, what black matter is. And yeah, it's pretty messed up to think about, man. How there's fucking... I don't know. It's just... What is it? There's like a quote or something. There's like... There's more stars in the universe than like any beach, like grains of sand on a beach. And all those stars have planets, and it's, yeah. Umbra, can I give you money? Hey man, Umbra, I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. What do you think vinyls are coming back? I think so, man. I think vinyls are coming back. Bandcamp just announced that they're going to start making vinyls too, as like a producer. And I think they're coming back because when you have a digital music collection on Spotify and stuff and Apple, iTunes, like you have it on your computer, but you don't like actually have a physical thing, you know? And I think people just want to have physical things, you know? If you wanted to share music with someone, you have to like go on your computer, open up iTunes, like copy it to a thumb drive or email them or give them a torrent or something, you know? You can't just like give them the record, be like, here, you can borrow this for a couple weeks and just give it to them. Check this out. You just, you know what I mean? I think people will miss that. And it's not like, it's nothing to do with quality of sound, because obviously digital sounds much better than vinyl. I don't, like people say just, it sounds better on digital, but it's just cool to have something physical that's like a physical piece of music, you know, like all physical. Even more, I mean, the CDs are cool too, because they're in these nice gatefold cases and stuff, but I feel like with vinyls, they're actually, it's nothing about it's digital, so that's what people like, so. Oh, Christopher Golfton. I'm using a program called Adobe Character Animator, and the program is what's animating Mischief right now. It's actually a little bit laggy and slow, I guess. There might be a setting on there that I can increase the speed of his movement. Let me just check this for a second. I feel like the scene is set. Oh, it's at 30. Okay. It works better on the Windows computer, but I guess it works all right here. Big cheese on campus, Marco. Just want to tell you your videos, your bumps on Adult Swim have given me the drive to want to create and have a greater passion. Hey man, that's really good to hear. You know, I feel like if it's anything, right, and you're creating anything, whether it's animations or if you're into woodworking or painting or even if it's just creating software or something like that, I think I think people need to create just as much as they consume stuff, if you know what I mean. It helps like balance yourself out a little bit. And I'm happy that you were inspired by this stuff. Not only are vinyls a physical thing you can give to someone, but they're also music in its physical form, like the tiny grooves, and you can see and feel in the actual music itself. Exactly. I think that's what it is, you know? If aliens got like a record and someone shot a record in outer space and they picked it up, they could probably figure out how to play it back. Like, if they had a CD, I guess they could, because it's just ones and zeros, but like I feel like the encoding and stuff, it's just, if they don't have the computers for it, it'd be more difficult, and like, I don't know, just... I feel like vinyls, because of their size too, that's another thing. They're so big, and so the artwork looks more impressive on it and that sort of thing. Okay. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, I was gonna make the wings move. I'm just gonna make one of the wings move. Like he's turning. Or she. Odd question, but I like your sound effects that use interface. Is there a way I can get a hold of them? Unfortunately, no. I'm not really releasing my sound effects because I don't want them to be used anywhere outside of the series. And it's just, I don't have a lot of them, like the ones I use repeatedly, like the chimes or whatever when Mischief shows up. However, they're not really that difficult to replicate. I think if you mess around with some software like Logic, whatever, and you put on some warpy kind of delay and that sort of thing, you'll probably be able to emulate something very close. Uʻmmäːmi, are you religious at all? If too uncomfortable, you don't have to answer. I'm not really religious, like at all. Like I don't go to church or anything. And the interface series has a lot of religious symbolism in it, but it's not just Christianity. There's Shinto religion from Japan. There's a bit of Hinduism. And obviously Catholicism or Christian symbology. The idea is that it isn't about any one particular religion. It's that the idea is that like it's just religion in general is kind of embedded in the human psyche. So that is why I use all of the different types for symbolism and that sort of thing. Infinite Paradox. Umami, I love your work. Hey, Infinite Paradox. I appreciate that very much. Tom Pegg, okay, if you were to send one vinyl with one song on it into space for aliens to find, what song would it be and why? You know, I really have no idea. It would probably be something that, like, it'd probably be something like compositions by Sebastian Bach or something like that. I wouldn't put like any new music on there. Or maybe I would do a mixture, you know? Maybe it would be like a few classical songs and then like one song from every, well, not every genre, but most genres. I'd have like one electronic song, one folk song, one jazz. Probably like some of the most popular stuff from every genre. One rock song, I guess. That's what I would do. I would probably put everything, like as different stuff. So when the aliens listen to it, they're like, oh yeah, I really kind of like Shakira. not so much into this Beethoven stuff. Nick Dickham, do you sound pretty tired? Are you getting enough sleep? I'm getting plenty of sleep, and honestly, dude, I'm just, this is the way I am. I'm just always kind of like, I've always been like this. I have like no energy for some reason. I don't know. Actually, I'm thinking to go to the doctor and tell him about this. I feel like I have less energy than the average person for some reason. Okay, here's my wing. It's shifting slightly. Oops, it's green. I'm gonna put a little bit more yellow here. Okay, now his wing goes down. It needs some black dots right here. Okay, and now I'm gonna do the same thing again, but make it even lower. So okay, let's do this. You see how it takes me a long time to make animations. Because even simple stuff like this bird flying is like a lot of work. Bohemian Rhapsody is something that the majority of the population can agree they love, and it utilizes multiple eras and genres of music all in one. Oh yeah, it's a good one. Would you ever animate another creator's story like Mother Horse Eyes or something? I get having your own story to tell, but I'm just curious if you could do something like that. Maybe I would. I would not do Mother Horse Eyes, just because he has his own series called Interface. It's got like the same title, so I would want to not like kind of confuse people. You know what I mean? I don't know, if someone wrote something that was really good, I would consider it. But I don't know. I feel like if someone like did that, it wouldn't be an animation. I would make it a live action or something, you know. I feel with animation, because it takes so much effort and time, like I kind of want it to be something that I created, including the story. Mr. Phil, are you able to make a living on YouTube between your educational videos and yeah, pretty much, man. Past year I've been just doing this full time now, so I'm really appreciative of all you guys out there and supporting me and that sort of thing. And yep, I'm pretty lucky to be able to just do this full time, I guess. Do you ever think your animations are going to expand more than you've ever expected it to? Like, it could be in business or whatever. It's a possibility. I don't know, like, what's going to happen. I've had some people express interest in it, like taking it beyond just being a web series, but obviously nothing concrete, and probably nothing's going to come from it. But we'll see what happens. I don't really think too much about it. I've been submitting Interface Part 1, which is episodes 1 to 12, to a few film festivals. And so maybe might be able to get some like people outside of the internet to, like festival people, to take a look at it. Who knows? In my opinion though, everyone's looking at shit on the internet these days. You know? That's the best way to get your work out there, is the internet. And I don't like film festivals because they make you not submit your stuff to the internet. So you work on something and then you have to wait, like you have to submit it to all these different places, cost you a lot of money, and then you have to wait. You can't put it online basically. And then you get rejected from like 90% of the places you submitted it to. And at that point, you're just kind of over it. So I feel like with web series, you make a new episode every month or two and you just put it out there and people see it and they appreciate it. And that's where people are these days, you know? Not saying that film festivals don't have a purpose. I just feel like with the internet, they're a lot less relevant than they used to be. That's for sure. Are you naked again, Umami? I'm not naked. I don't think I ever did a stream where I was naked.
When has he been naked?
Maybe in the summer when it's like 40 degrees outside, I'll have like no shirt on. But right now it's still kind of spring, so I'm wearing a hoodie and that sort of thing. What inspired the cycle of life made my head hurt. I don't really know what I just want to continue on the soup story. So I just thought, like, what would he do next? And that's basically it. I don't really have a deeper meaning behind it. I really wanted him to get like big-headed, like he created Campbell's all by excuse me, Campbell's all by himself and that sort of thing. I might actually make the other wing just shift a little bit too, because it looks unnatural. Jess Hicks. Would you ever collaborate with other writers or creators on original content? I would. So in episode 8, there's a YouTuber named Phil Jameson, and he did the voice for the Hazmat spokesperson, so I guess that was my first sort of collaboration. Otherwise, though, it's tricky for me to do collaborations because, I don't know, my workflow is I just want to like turn the computer on and do stuff. I don't want to have to like think about planning and storyboards and back and forth between different people, you know what I mean? So, but I would do it, you know, if someone was able to really dedicate time. But it, like I say, it's just tricky for me, I guess, so. Rice Krispies 8. The internet allows content creators to bypass curators and have a direct connection to their fans / consumers. Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's why a lot of YouTube channels that make really weird stuff are popular, because for some reason they would never make this kind of weird stuff on television. Like that channel Surreal Entertainment, he makes weird stuff like that, or it's like bad on purpose. Like you don't really see that stuff outside of YouTube. People are able to take a lot more risks. And so you get a little more interesting stuff sometimes. The Sonic movie trailer came out. Did you get post-traumatic stress disorder? You know what? Actually, the first time I saw it, I thought they were playing Shakira's Survivor as the song. Not Shakira. Beyonce? I don't know who it is. In the middle of that song, that's called Survivor. But it was actually Coolio's Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah, I corrected you instantly.
Yeah, so I kind of cringed a little bit. However, I laughed when I saw it. I saw Jim Carrey acting like his goofball self that he's known for being, not like super serious like he has been the past couple years. So, I don't know, it looks enjoyable to me. Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog does look kind of fucked up. And it does sort of look like a generic movie, like the military's called in and that sort of thing. But it might be alright, I don't know. It didn't bother me as much as it seemed to have bothered the internet, though, that's for sure. Oh shit, I gotta restart this Photoshop program. It's like a bug, sometimes the undo button doesn't work. Hopefully this doesn't show a bunch of thumbnails of,
Bootylicious.
No, just spoilers.
Hopefully it doesn't show all the terrible photos you take of me. I mean...
They like auto-synchronized with my phone. What do you think of Petscop? I did check it out a little bit, but I don't really have much of an opinion on it. I haven't really had enough time to take a look at it, unfortunately. Ocean Current. I've been streaming for about an hour and a half, I think. I'm not really sure. Oh, Stefan, I don't know. Sorry, man. I'm not playing the music myself, so I can't hear it. I wish there was like a way I could like have a playlist. Like it shows the name. Maybe there's a way you can do that on OBS. I just have to figure it out. Oh, that's looking better. See the wing shifts a bit. Do you think Adult Swim is the closest thing TV has to a YouTube-like platform for obscure independent content? I don't think they were the first really to do that sort of thing. I feel like maybe right now it is. But there used to be other shows and networks that would kind of have more independent, weird... Maybe in Canada they did, at least. I know that for sure. There was... CBC used to have this program called ZTV at night, which it was very similar to YouTube actually, and it was before YouTube, where you could just upload videos to their website and they would kind of hand choose them and then broadcast them on CBC. And I had some really, really old stuff on there. Actually made it onto their television program in Canada here. But then they stopped making that show for some reason, and now they just fucking propaganda 24/7 about Donald Trump. So unfortunately the CBC has changed for the worse, and they have kind of lost touch with creators and that sort of thing. In my opinion, I don't really care for it anymore. So, but you know, Adult Swim probably these days is probably the closest to offering that sort of content on like a broadcast sort of network. Yeah, for sure. Canada's kind of famous for having weird TV, from what I heard. Yeah, we had all these like really cool shows that were made in Canada, and I don't know if the Americans really got a chance to see them. There was one show called Reboot that they made in Vancouver, and it was like the first television show that used 3D animation, and it was actually a really good show. It was about like people who lived inside a computer, and like when you played a video game or whatever, like say the user plays a video game, the characters in the show would have to like be sprites and fight against each other. I really enjoyed the show when I was a kid, and actually I watched it like 4 or 5 years ago, like just because I wanted to see it again, and it held up. Like it held up as a show. It wasn't just something I enjoyed as a kid. Like it was still good to watch as like an adult. So then they made like this reboot. They like remade it or something on Netflix recently, the past year, and it's absolute garbage. So don't even. That's not the same thing at all. I don't know what the hell they were doing there. It's like they made this like kid show called Reboot. It's not the same thing. Will you ever post those videos on Patreon? Hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea, Stefan. I should probably do that sometime. It's just that me personally, they're so old that I don't really find them. But yeah, I should do that. I suppose I should maybe. That's not a bad idea. I should go through my old stuff and see what's worth posting, and I put it on my Patreon. Because I do have some old stuff there. It's kind of cool, I guess. Your chat box isn't updating and the Twitch chat isn't on it. Oh shit. Okay. Let me just... I don't know, man. I'm thinking of just like redesigning this so it doesn't even show my chat box, because I'm having so many problems with this. Fortunately... Let me see. What do I have to do to fix that? Restream.io. It should be working. I don't know. I'm sorry, man. I do see the comments though that are from Twitch. They pop up here in my little chat box thing. Have you ever seen the video game called Paratopic? I can spot some similarities with your work. I'm not familiar with Paratopic. I guess if you were to compare, like I used to play this video game called, when I was a kid, like the very first game I had was called Full Throttle on like Windows 95. And the aesthetic is very much similar to my drawings on this channel. So that was probably more of an inspiration. I haven't played that game though, the one that you mentioned. Fitting that the last message on the frozen chat is "oh no." Yeah, dude, I don't know. Fuck, I don't know why it's frozen. Yeah. Have you ever played Twisted Metal? I think I did play it a long time ago at my friend's house when I was a kid. Metalis, what is your real name? Gosh darn it. My name's Justin Tomchuk, so if you type that in Google, you'll probably find my Instagram and stuff, and there will be a face reveal in there. I don't really advertise it that much though, but if you guys are interested, you can follow me on there. Full Throttle was great, but my favorite graphic novel adventure was Monkey Island and Broken Sword. Yeah, those came out around the same time, and I never played them. I just had Full Throttle and this like Star Wars game that used to like give me nightmares. So now I'm just going to loop this section here. Don't you name your layers? I don't really bother because unless I do, I actually do name them sometimes, but only when I'm doing this complicated stuff. Otherwise, it's just pointless, me going in here naming everything. It just... Because the way I work is owl flying medium, basically. This is going to be the owl by itself. That's how I label things. Within the layers here, because they auto-generate and stuff, it just becomes a pain in the ass having to change the names and stuff, so I just don't bother. When I'm doing a really complicated shot, though, I do label them properly. Usually the subfolders, I label these things instead. Let me just restart this restream chat because I think maybe that's what happened. Just looked up your Instagram. You are one spicy meatball.
What?
Oh boy.
What does that mean?
You remind me of my uncle before his hair started falling out.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
poor uncle. Jesus. You know you're like cursing yourself when you say that, right?
Am I?
No, he is.
Why's that?
Cause if you make comments about people's baldness, guess what's gonna happen in the future?
I'm not going bald though, so I'm lucky there. Spicy meatballs are good shit. I really like Thomas the Thermonuclear Bomb. Will you ever do more Thomas animations? Thomas the 12 gauge shot, the 12 gauge pump shotgun, maybe? I didn't want to do another Thomas video at first because I felt that it would just be kind of like, I don't know, like it would be obvious I'm just kind of cashing in on the YouTube algorithm doing something like that. Because I know for some reason Thomas, like, he blew up because Thomas on YouTube is just a popular thing. I haven't really thought of a good idea though that hasn't been done before, and it's possible I'll do one. It has to be weirder than being a thermonuclear bomb is what I'm saying. It has to be like better. Otherwise I don't want to do it. And I haven't really thought too much about it. Though I guess I could do something sometime. Something weird like Thomas the urinary tract infection.
What the fuck? What? He just has rails inside of someone's urethras? No response.
Or like, I don't know. Are you afraid Thomas will become the new Zuckerberg? What do you mean by that? Oh shit. Oh my god, my undo button isn't working again. What is it? Look at this. It's just disabled. Like, what the fuck, Photoshop? I don't understand. Am I doing something wrong?
No, it's just in a bad mood today.
It's just like, you can't undo anymore. Okay. Let's just restart that again. Thomas the flesh-eating bacteria. Micro Thomas the tank engine's going on full speed on the tracks, tearing that shit up, but the tracks are your skin. Oh god. That's funny. So does your family know about your YouTube channel at all? Oh yeah, definitely. I think my whole family knows about it.
Yeah, you came up to your family last year.
I didn't share it to them immediately though. I think it took me about a year.
Yeah, you were all embarrassed about having interests. Being creative. Instead of watching TV 24 hours a day.
Yeah. Thomas the suicidal drug addict.
Okay, that's just... That's no good. That's not good.
I mean, Thomas could be anything. That's the thing. You could just make Thomas
I know, right?
like anything. You can make him anything. That's why. I don't know.
He's already the most destructive thing in existence, so like, what more do you want?
I'd have to think about it real hard.
Thomas is a black hole that absorbs the earth.
It'd be like Thomas the Mark Zuckerberg belt buckle, and then just have like Mark Zuckerberg walking around. He looks down and just Thomas the tank engine on his belt.
Yeah, that's controversial.
But see, I don't know where to go with that though.
That's all, that's it.
That's not really good though. You see what I mean?
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. It needs like a joke. The Thomas thing is getting out of hand, guys. That's the thing. I feel like it's just kind of run its course now. I don't want to do it because
It's like the McDonald's thing is just done.
I've only did one Thomas video, but there's a lot of Thomas memes out there, and I just feel like gotta make something new, you know? Something like I feel like the Soup Son was something that I made that was like kind of out of the ordinary, I guess. Still similar though. There's other characters out there that are similar to the Soup Son. Okay. Let's see here. I could do something like maybe an inside out Thomas the Tank Engine, so that his face is the outside of the tank engine, and then that little circle is just like the blue part with his number on it, and then his like wheels would be like his teeth and stuff, like grinding on the tracks. Maybe like his bones are like like the framework of it. I don't know. That would be kind of Thomas, like Thomas the Tank Engine, but inside out.
You don't know like a whole internal organ theme.
Yeah, that seems to be. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Thomas the fission reactor of Chernobyl. Thomas the nuclear reactor. I guess it would still be a nuclear video.
He's just been turned into a building.
Though when Chernobyl happened, it wasn't like a blast, was it? It was just more like a get the hell out because there's like radioisotopes being exploded. But it wasn't like a bomb, was it? I don't think it blew up. It just make, you know, that the elephant's foot in Chernobyl? It'd just be like Thomas's face, but all melted. You know, it actually would match because it's like gray, right? And Thomas is gray. It was a fire, yeah. It was yeah. Okay.
All of your whole chat and your counters and everything aren't moving.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to fix it. I don't have time for this. It's not. I don't know, man. It's like Streamlabs. Let me just refresh that. I think that one's working. Let me just try the counter. Yeah, this stuff is so bugged out. I don't know why they even make it. It doesn't work. But whatever. Maybe it's because I'm doing this on a Mac.
That was working for you.
Okay. Complete nuclear meltdown. Yeah. Radiation blew to the top. Failure to cool the fuel rod, steam explosion followed by radioactive debris. Yeah. Thomas the Incredible Interesting Engine, which has a miniature tank engine inside of it.
How about he's just Thomas the Steam Engine, and it's just a normal video about Thomas the Tank Engine.
What?
It's just a normal video.
Oh yeah. Actually, you know what? I was thinking of
anti-video.
the next video I was thinking of doing. I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But it was just going to be like a normal video. It was just going to be nothing weird about it. There was just going to be
It should just be a wholesome Thomas the Tank Engine video.
Well, I can't do that though because that's going to violate. It's not a parody or a satire. It's just like straight up using their characters.
No, it's just advanced humor that copyright lawyers don't understand.
I was thinking of doing an animation where you think something weird's going to happen, but like it's just a normal, wholesome video. What about if you start small, like Adam Thomas, and then slowly expand until you have Universe Thomas? Or maybe a whole army of different Thomases.
What happens if you just have a bunch of Thomas the Tank Engine atoms and they combine? What does that do?
So it'd be called like the Thomas theory, which is Thomas can be anything and everything.
There is Thomas within us.
There is Thomas within each and every one of us. Just replace the word like carbon from like when you're starting the universe, but with Thomas the Tank Engine.
You should have a periodic table where like Thomas is the base element for everything in life. When you look at the chemical structure of like tree cells, there's like Thomas in there because it's carbon.
That's funny.
Or is that just too much?
Okay, so this is obviously not how an owl flies, but what I'm going to have it do is just have it loop the first half for a while, switch over, and then loop to the second half, which is kind of my style. And it's just a very minimalist kind of animation where he just kind of shifts position, and then he flies like that for a little bit, because he's drifting in the sky. I don't have to like animate every single wing movement. It's not going to look good if I did that. So that is my base animation of the owl, I think. And what I would do next is draw clouds and stuff in the background. Dank Doggo, what programs do you use? I'm using Photoshop right now, and then I'll be using After Effects probably, or Premiere. Okay, so these frames.
Smell that? Delicious.
What is this? Okay, I'm gonna pick everything here. I guess I will do some labeling. Put it in a folder. Just call it owl. Save. Now the background is going to have to be a lot larger because it's going to be moving. The clouds move. So I'll probably make the width like 1,000. Say this as _BG. Hey, sorry, I think I missed someone donated. Oh wait, is Inquisitor Shoe? Okay, I did read that. Hey, thank you, man, for that. By the way, the £5, I think, or euros. Appreciate that. By the way, kudos to your patience levels. I can tell you're working really hard by watching these live streams. Hey, thanks, man. Usually I work a little bit faster than this. It's just when my attention is divided between the stream and drawing, it slows me down quite a bit. But it's okay. I like doing these live streams once in a while because... Oh yeah, okay, so the background is green. Sky is green. And then there'll be a cloud back here. I'll draw a big cloud. I have drawn so many clouds over the past year. I could just have like a cloud folder, but I like to draw them all. Because I don't like repeating stuff too much. I like it to be original looking. But I do repeat some things, I guess. Usually I take something and I redraw it, trace it on top or change it slightly.
You're welcome.
Oh, thanks, Caroline. I didn't even notice. This is coffee. Oh, Caroline just got me coffee. Are you afraid to give too much away during streams? I'm guessing you mean like my technique and stuff, or I'm afraid sometimes that I'm kind of taking the magic away from it. But I think the benefits are outweighing anything else. So, because I know you guys have a lot of questions and stuff. And listen, man, I don't even really care that much. Like, if this encourages someone to be creative, just from watching my live stream or something like that, then I think it's a big win. So, I'm not really concerned about. So I'm gonna actually make this cloud be in the background and have it animate at a different speed than the one in the foreground. It kind of gives it a sense of depth, I guess. Naked Snake, where did you pick your color palette? I kind of just selected them one by one. Like I started drawing the McDonald's videos, and I started with yellow, and then I think it was the red here and green and stuff, and I just kind of started adding them one by one when I wanted them, and I decided to stick with it. I don't know if I'm going to change the color palette up in the future. I might, but I don't know. For now, I don't think it's the reason why I stay within the color palette that I use is because I think it forces you to be a little bit more creative with your color choices. Like, if I just chose colors randomly here, I don't think anything would look as cohesive. Obviously, it wouldn't, but just for this particular style, I think it looks nice to keep everything consistent looking. And sometimes I actually wish, I wasn't drawing in this sort of pixelated style that I chose, because there's so many things you can do, like gradients or lighting effects, like blurs and out of focus, in focus, and that sort of thing. And I can't do it because if I want to stay as a pixelated kind of design, I have to basically stay within these colors. Even when you see a dissolve. So if you see a dissolve anywhere, usually I actually have to manually do it, which means that this is one frame. The next frame, I will make this the darker yellow. This section here will be the darker yellow, and then this section down here will be orange. So I would do that, and then I would draw the next frame, and then I would make the orange something like the dark red there, probably. So it's like a manual dissolve using these colors in my palette. Because if I just did a dissolve in Photoshop, it would generate colors to dissolve that are not in my palette. And that's kind of one of the rules I've been... And it kind of complicates things. So, but at the same time, it limits you, and it forces you to work within those limits. If that makes any sense. Okay, there was a white dot on the drawing there. I had to open up the owl there. So if you watch the cycle of life, I think I did that once or twice, where there's a dissolve. It wasn't done with a PC, like a Premiere. It was done like manually. And I'm getting better at learning how to do it. So. Hobolium. Thanks for the sick owl flaps who made me bounce on my boy's dong to this.
Wow.
All right, man. Well, well, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. Have you ever been using the pixelated design?
You try to be serious now?
I can't. Or did it slowly evolve from your previous works? Well, when I started doing this channel, I knew I wanted to develop one style and stick with it for the whole channel. So the method that I used in the first video, McDriven, is the same method I use now. It's just I've slightly refined a few things, but it basically has the same look. Before doing these, though, I've done other types of animation. I've done mostly tests, not so much animations, but I've done some paper drawing tests. I've done some stop motion. And part of the reason why I chose doing the animations pixelated is because the file sizes that I'm drawing at are such low resolution that when I have a lot of them, it doesn't add up to be a huge file. Like this is a 30 megabyte file right here. But if I was if I was drawing this at 1080p, it would probably be like 300 megabytes or something, right? And so this is just one frame, and you can see how that would add up, and I'd have to buy a lot of hard drives. And so this way, it's a relatively affordable way to animate. And also, when I'm playing things back like this, it's not laggy or anything because everything's so low res. The computer, I can animate this on a, mid-range laptop or a mid-range computer. It doesn't have to be like the most powerful thing in the world, right? And so that's why I think the low res stuff is a cool way to animate, because you don't have to worry about having the most powerful computer in the world, right? Just to do it. So. I'm going to get rid of the owl just for a second so I can see what I'm doing. Because look, I obviously missed a section of cloud there. So how did you find Hex System? Any other good ambient music artists you'd recommend? Mad Bagel, I didn't find Hex System. I am Hex System. I should maybe, it's kind of confusing because it's a different name. But all the music that is Hex System is my own. But if you're looking for other good ambient musics, I have a playlist called Enjoyable Sounds. You can go to the playlist page on my YouTube channel, and it's just full of music that I like to listen to. So you'll be able to find some stuff there. What is your
made up a good story instead?
What is your opinion on your fan base overall? Dude, I think I have like a super creative fan base. Like the amount of stuff you guys send me on Twitter and in the Discord and on the subreddit is like crazy impressive. Like people are doing like paintings and drawings of all the characters, and someone made a mug of Mischief like out of clay. Or it was a ceramic sculpture. And people are doing 3D renderings of Mischief in 3D. So I've got like a super creative fan base. I love it because it's so like sometimes I just check the Instagram and someone send me something new that they made. It's so fun. You know?
Aww.
It's very fun. Like there's some really good fan art. I wonder if I can show some of it on here. I'll show some of it right now actually. Hey Metalis, thanks for posting the link there. To the hold on. Oh shit, dropped my pen. Celia Hoodcat sent me, maybe I'll go to Twitter too. Okay. Here's some fan art that was posted in the subreddit. And it has the Greetings Robotics blimp right here. It's got Henrik. And it's got these shadowy characters and the arches. And the Olympic Stadium. That was by Celia Hoodcat. Some people are sending me stuff like this, like when Easter was happening. By Ryu J. And then, let's see.
Oh, it's an Easter egg!
Yeah.
You didn't show me that one.
Oh, really? Like if I go, I just whenever people send me stuff, I always retweet it. Let me see if I can make this more full screen for you guys. Someone made a level in Mario Smash Brothers that has Umami, that has Mischief on it.
What?
He's just a big Mischief in the background there. That's kind of funny. And then there's like Garfield Mischief right here. What else is there?
I like that one.
And there's another drawing here of Cammy. There's people send me funny stuff too, like this ball that kind of looks like Mischief. This one is really sweet. I love this rendering of Mischief by Lindsay. And look, Mischief's on a cookie. Someone made a cookie of Mischief.
What?
It was everywhere, man. People putting Mischief everywhere, man. And there's like other cool stuff here too, like this pixel art of the Soup Sun. People just send me stuff like they're wearing the merch. And funny memes and that sort of thing. More pixel art. You guys should check out the Twitter because like there's so much like artwork that people send in. And I always retweet it because it's, yeah. So I got a super cool fan base. What does the Chinese symbol on Cammy's neck say? It's a symbol. It means. It actually means Cammy, or it's pronounced probably Kami or something like that in Japan, or I think in China it's got the same meaning, but it's probably pronounced something differently. Which is referring to the Shinto religion, I guess, over there. So, the idea is basically the robot was created by like Japanese engineers. So they would have something like that. Do you believe in collective consciousness?
Oh, scanner.
I guess that must be like a theory that is probably more in depth than what I've thought about, but I do believe that like people, you know, are somehow connected through some sort of system, I guess. Other than technology, you know, I just don't really know much about it, you know. You know, you ever hear those stories about people like saying that they dreamed that their parents, like someone died that they knew, right? And then they wake up and then the next day it ends up being that, yes, that like someone actually did die. There's no really explanation for it. Dylan Mullen. Unexpected error. Hey man, I don't know if it's giving you an unexpected error, but you don't have to, man. I appreciate it though, but yeah, it's not a... You could try the Streamlabs there. There's a Streamlabs button if you wanted to. The nanosecond, the atom bomb explosion picture in Interface episode 6 was helped taken by my grandfather. Very surreal to see it in your animation. Oh, really?
What? That's crazy.
So you must have been on the team of people that worked. I think it was a guy named Harold that developed the technique, I think. There's a Wikipedia page about that. That's really cool, man. Yeah, the idea is that Henrik isn't like the guy who invented that technique, but he was on the team of people that were taking those photos. So Henrik probably knew your grandfather. Did your grandfather work with any Polish people? What would you do if he said that he knew someone named Henrik? That'd be pretty crazy. He took that picture of the famous milk drop. Oh, cool, man. I can see if I can find that one. I gotta look that one up because I'm not sure. Hey man, if you got a link to it, post a picture in the description. Post a link in the chat, I mean. You couldn't tell us a lot, yeah. Toby. I'm so glad I caught the stream before I had to work. Hey Toby, man, I really appreciate that, dude. That's very kind of you. Okay, I got your link here. I'm gonna approve it, I guess. Let me see if it shows up. Let's see, oh, this photo. Okay, yeah, I've seen this one before. Cool, man. So that was your grandfather, eh? Dude, your grandfather's like, isn't he like, he must be like famous, or he's like in the photography world at least. Because that's a well-known photo. That's awesome, man.
That's so cool.
There was a documentary I was watching the other day about those tests that they made in the Eastern Pacific. Nuclear bomb tests, where they had like the military or the Navy just kind of hanging out on boats while they blew up nuclear bombs. They couldn't say anything for like 40 years. They were having all these genetic problems afterwards. Really messed up. They're just like guinea pigs, basically. That's kind of, sort of like the, you know, when Henrik is photographing these bombs, something comes out of it and affects his genetics. Is basically what is affecting him and is keeping him alive for so long. That's kind of the idea. because he's not a monster, but he's like, it's got like the cerebral electricity affected him in a way, you know? It's like rather than damaging his DNA, it kind of just reinforced it. And part of the reason why he was, well, anyway, I don't want to explain too much about that. Cold Tequila Patron, man, hey. Thanks, man, I appreciate the comment. Hey, that's cool, man. SC Wood. I love how Mischief subverts our expectations. He looks like a creepy clown, which ironically enough is already a subversive trope. And he ends up just being a good guy. It's like a double negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I like it too, but because also on the there's a little bit of a hint that you kind of feel like maybe he's a good guy, but you know that there's something about him that's he could still be evil. You know what I mean? There's I want all my characters, even the bad guy, like the guy in the blimp, Mr. Greetings. I want to have an episode where it just kind of shows that he's not just some shadowy guy in the clouds, you know, like because everyone is kind of gray, you know. I don't want there to be like clearly good guys, bad guys. And like Cammy is just basically doing what she was programmed to do, so. Mischief, the tank engine. Hey, Inquisitor Shoe, thank you for that, man. Dylan Muller, a lot of atom bombs in test site in Nevada. That's where, yeah, I had like 42 people under him. Yeah. If you look at that episode in the background of when he's taking a photograph of the bomb, there's kind of like vague drawings of like military vehicles and buildings and stuff like that. Because it's not just like, you know, it's not just Henrik out in the desert photographing it by himself. But there's like a vague... The funny thing is, though, he's using like an old style camera. I don't think it's the exact same camera that they're using. I'm not sure exactly what... But they do have those crazy cameras with the mirrors, like you're saying. Koji C, do you have an entire story in place to tell, or do you just build it as you go? It's I had got a little bit of both, because I have a couple different endings in my mind. And I do know where it wants to go. Not every episode's planned. I got like 2 or 3 episodes in my head, though. I put this kind of like black in my clouds. Which not a lot of people would do, I guess, because it's supposed to be light and fluffy, but everything sort of has the black outline to it.
Would it be weird if someone got a tattoo of a still of one of your animations or characters?
Someone actually did get a tattoo of Mischief.
What?
And they posted it in the subreddit. It was 4 or 5 months ago, I think, maybe longer.
Damn, that's a bit. I don't even have one of those.
It was actually before my channel was even like that big, I think. I think I had maybe like 30,000 subs. So that was a big commitment. If you go to the subreddit and scroll back in the history, you might be able to find it. Video game gonzo journalism. Did the squid die in the latest episode? He did not actually. Well, he died, but I guess he wasn't. He's still going to be living on within the blimp the organism. Kind of consumes him, and I guess he becomes part of the AI. So he's gone, but he's not like he's still going to be used in ways. Hey, let's sold at. Thank you very much for that. That's very kind and generous of you. I appreciate that a lot, man. I don't have a message there, but like I appreciate that and thank you. Why is surrealism so fascinating to me? You know what I was wondering is, why does it seem that surrealism is sort of coming back as a form of animation on YouTube? Because it's not just my animations. There's other animators out there. Oops. I drew something on the wrong layer. Oh, fuck. That are kind of tapping into surrealism right now. Like all those surreal memes. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I feel like people are just, they want something. Usually when something's popular, it means that like there's some sort of overall consensus among a population that they need it. You know what I mean? Like, why were Western movies so popular in the 60s and the 70s, right? Or like, why were sci-fi movies so popular towards the 2000s? Or why superhero movies are so popular in 2004 and onwards, right? There's like a reason for it, and it's not. I feel it's like the population is kind of tuned into something, you know? Now I feel like with YouTube, surreal animations are coming back. That's what I feel like anyway. I don't know if there's anything more to it, but
I think people are just tired of reality.
People are just tired of reality, maybe. Yeah, that's what Carolina says. Bombaya. Thanks for hanging out, man. See you later. The fluctuation of entertainment in society. Yeah, and it also, it's not just animations on YouTube. It's also like the types of humor that are popular. Like, so in the 90s, Seinfeld was humorous, right? And now The Office was like the next biggest show in my opinion, right? And you're kind of like, why was it that all of a sudden The Office was funnier after Seinfeld? And there's that, was it philosopher writer, I forget his name actually. He wrote the book Infinite Jest. I didn't read his book, but he basically talks about how there's like layers of irony in Seinfeld. So none of the characters learn anything. Each episode is kind of like, these are a bunch of assholes. There's no one learned anything, right? But the show was super popular at the time. And then you watch a show like The Office, and it's similar where Michael's kind of like this super asshole, right? And all that sort of thing. But what made the show very popular for its period of time was that he was redeemable, and he did learn sort of over the years. And it's like certain, like, it's like amounts of irony have dropped a little bit, and now people are watching shows that seem to be a little bit more sincere. And I find that with my animations, it's not just all irony either. Like there's, especially with the interface stuff, there's more sincerity to it than just like, I don't know, just random weird animations about violence and stuff. You know what I mean? And you gotta wonder, why is it that these society goes in cycles like that, you know? I don't really have any answers. It's just things that I notice. That said, though, yeah, David Foster Wallace, that was his name. Larry David, though. I mean, the thing is that Larry David is so hilarious.
I am Larry David.
But it's like, it's still popular, though, and it's coming around the same time, like, that The Office was around, like, Curb Your Enthusiasm came around the same time. But there were other shows, too, like, fuck, what was it called? Oh man, I'm just kind of going on now. Carlin Russell.
You make me sound effects?
What?
You make me sound effects?
You want some sound effects for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Carlin Russell. Hey, enjoying your work? Small token of thanks. Hey, Carlin Russell, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
I want a sound effect with a balloon in it.
Oh my god.
What?
I think that surreal art is a gateway to the mind. I just think that it takes people time to realize that, oh shit, this is the shit that the brain can make. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's a wicked gnarl.
Okay. Heard they were remaking Dune, not sure to be excited or not. They're making Dune with Denis Villeneuve, and the soundtrack was done by Hans Zimmer. It's probably going to be an excellent, it's probably going to be an awesome movie. However, I know this is going to be a controversial opinion, okay? But I wasn't crazy about the last movie he made, Blade Runner 2, whatever it was, or just Blade Runner. I really thought that it was kind of just relied on some real cinema tropes about that sort of thing, and towards the end there I wasn't enjoying it that much. The movie visually was stunning and the soundtrack was awesome. Story-wise, though, I thought there were some problems with it, and I also feel that way with the other movie he made. What was it? The ones where the aliens show up and they come in like that big weird oval-shaped movie. Arrival?
I like that movie.
I liked it too. I just didn't like how at the end the aliens are like explaining everything. They're just like, oh yeah, we have this universal language and this is what we do, and it just kind of ruined it for me. I don't know. I think he over-explained it at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
I find with Denis Villeneuve, his movies are like 95% excellent, and then there's always like 5% of it that just kind of throws me out on a loop for some reason. Anyways, I really hope that this movie he's making, Dune, it's probably going to be sweet though. I'm probably going to see it anyway, you know. It's got a really good track record of making good movies, so. And Denis Villeneuve is from Montreal, which is pretty cool. No, not Doom. It's Dune, the kind of sci-fi movie.
It's also a book, I think.
Yeah, it is a book. Okay, guys, I'm going to see if I can import this into Premiere and stuff now. Alrighty. Okay. How many episodes of interface do you think there will be in total? I have no idea. As many as I need to finish the story, and so sorry I don't have a better answer for that. There's going to be at least 24 though, at least. Okay, so I got my background layers, which I can import individually. And then I got my owl. I've got a new soundtrack here. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to ruin it for you guys. I'm just going to see here. Speed and duration. 15. Okay, I'll make it 16 seconds probably. So I got my owl here. Just gonna. Logic is only on the Mac, is it not? Yeah, that's correct. That's partially why I bought the Mac, because I like using Logic, and there's oops. You can only get it on the Mac. I think personally the program Logic is only $200, and it makes buying a Mac worth the price, because similar programs on a PC are going to be like upwards of $1,200. Like, you can do so much, you can pretty much do everything with Logic, and it comes packed with plugins and stuff, so you don't have to buy all these third-party plugins. You can just use what it comes with. I don't use Apple. I don't use Final Cut or anything to edit. I don't like it. I just use Premiere. Can I post a song of Spotify in here? Yeah, you can go ahead, man. I'll have to approve it, but go ahead. You can post it, and I'll click on the check mark. Okay. So what I'll do here is probably a second here. Why is it doing that? Okay, whatever. Just maybe I have to do this. Is that what it is? annoying thing about having layers. Okay, let's give me a second here. All right, so got my bird there. Mammy, what's your opinion on the Philadelphia experiment? I googled it a bit, and it seems to be that something happened, but not sure what. What do you love, baby? I think it was just an urban legend that it didn't actually happen, like the way that the story is told. I think it was probably, if you read about what like the different accounts of the stories, there's something that just kind of sounded like someone was embellishing on what they saw, and it probably wasn't like an actual I don't think they actually teleported. Otherwise, I feel like, if they did, the government would have gone crazy doing tests with that sort of thing, and they didn't. So I think, well, that we know of. So I'm going to have to go and say that it's just an urban legend. Willie B, do you do art outside of animation, like drawing, painting, or writing? I do painting and the music, but I guess painting, I don't do it as much as I used to. But see if I can find some stuff, I guess. I do painting, yeah, so I got like weird stuff like this. It's like a mugshot, some guy with spray paint on his mouth. You can see a context photo there. Or what else is there? I gave this for my mom. The painting I made, I forget, it must have been for her birthday a couple years ago. What else is there? This is a painting I made a couple years ago. I sold that one. I still have the frame though. I got some other paintings like this one, I guess. Usually work in acrylic. Sometimes I work in oil. Just abstract stuff, I guess. So other than animating, that's what I do. I don't do it so much anymore, but I do it once. I just don't really have any time, really, because I'm animating nowadays. So, okay. Oh shit! Sorry guys, I ruined that shot for you. And that one too. Well, I guess that's what you get for watching this live stream. But it's not going to ruin anything. You're just going to see the shots in advance. You're not going to ruin any of the story or anything. So, okay, I got to import this. Okay. So my owl's there, gonna put in the background now. So undo that. Oops, I guess I can redo that. Where's my sky? So I got cloud 2. I could just import these files in After Effects. I don't have to do it this way, but I'm just doing it because I'm lazy. Okay, so now I got those there. Just copy and paste them onto this layer. So now I have my clouds. So what's the first thing I would probably do is move the owl around. Let's just make some basic keyframes here. Make them kind of go up and down like the wind. Actually, keep these as default, and the ones in between, then I will go up. Just do a little bit randomly, different heights, because it makes it a little bit more organic. Sometimes they'll be a little bit forward. Okay, you can do things like take your keyframes there and keyframe interpolation, change that to continuous Bezier so that they kind of smoothed out a bit. You can do it that way, or you can do it, actually it's probably better to do it in here. Just click this so that they're not so moving up like, yeah, nice and smooth. Okay. Hey, Charles, man, you don't have to do that, dude. Listen, dude. Just focus on finding a new job, my friend. How long ago did you start working on this episode? It's been about well, I made the soundtrack for it and did a few shots, so we've been working on it for about a couple weeks, but not that long because I've been busy with the soundtrack, getting that ready and everything. So nobody wants to hire me, and I think it's because I'm 5'1". Man, that's not the reason why. It's this. How old are you, man? Are you? What kind of jobs are you applying to? I had a hell of a time finding work when I was in Halifax. Okay, so my bird's right there. Let's get these clouds moving too. Monochromatic. Are you super critical of your work? I always seem to have trouble just letting go of my creations and releasing them. You're always wanting to revise it and perfect it too much. Yeah, that's one of the tricks you're gonna have to learn. That once because sometimes you can overdo it, and it doesn't make it better to work on it more. You do have to learn eventually once like to know when to stop and just let it go. This is, I messed up already. This is, I'm 18 and I applied for a job at a nature preserve and a museum and some retail places and no luck yet. Just keep applying, man. That's all I can say, is apply to as many places as possible. When I was 18, what was I doing? I think that was the first year of university, so I was working in a parking booth in Halifax. I used to work in a parking booth, and it was like $9.15 an hour or something like that, Canadian. And it was at a hotel. So, you know what, man? Maybe try checking out some hotels. I don't know how hotels are doing these days, but you never know. There might be a position behind the front desk or something, or the concierge. I would check Facebook groups too, because a lot of people are hiring people through Facebook these days. And if you're going to university or if you're going to college or whatever, see if they have any jobs available for their students. Because sometimes, that was when I was in the university, I also worked in the, there's like a cage for video production. Like you would rent out the equipment from there. And so I worked there for some time. It's tough though, man. Because just don't give up, that's all, you know? Don't let it discourage you. So there's my pretty basic animation. It took me a while to do, actually. I'm going to add some more details to it, though, because I'm not crazy about how the sky is. Yeah, man. Definitely, if you're going to community college, start looking now or, you know, as soon as possible, because the way I was able to get that job was basically I was the first one to go to the cage for the semester and be like, hey, do you need to hire anyone? And I think that's the reason why I got hired. You have to be like the first one, you know? Okay. Let's see here. Background. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Now I have to animate the background there too. Okay. Umami, do you intentionally pick weird colors for things like green sky, or is it just the result of your limited palette? Hawk sandwich. There's a couple of different reasons why I chose green. Henrik is blue, and so to have him against the blue sky would make him not stand out, for one. But also, it kind of like symbolically... What?
There is stuff cooking in the oven, and it's almost done, and I have to go to an appointment.
Okay, what do I do?
It has to dry out a bit more and get to 180 degrees. The duck.
So what do I do?
You just turn it down to like 200 degrees.
So I turn it to 200 degrees?
Yeah, so it doesn't get cold.
200 degrees is high though. That's a high temperature.
No, I mean like just turn a minimum.
Minimum.
Yeah, in the oven.
Okay.
Just
minimum, like the absolute minimum.
Yeah,
like 0.
so it's not
just enough so it just warms up once in a while.
So it's just warm and it doesn't keep cooking.
That's not 200. That'd be like almost. Okay.
I'm speaking in Fahrenheit.
Okay. When do I do that?
Like 30 minutes.
Okay. I'll do it after I stop. I'm gonna stop streaming soon, so I'll do it after that. Hey, sorry guys. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the sky. Yeah, having the sky be green kind of makes the world seem a little bit more surreal too, I guess. If I just drew it like literally, like have a blue sky, it would just look very. It would look too regular, you know. And the weird colors like the sidewalk being pink and stuff sometimes, like. Yeah. It just kind of makes a unique looking kind of world, I guess. There's nothing. I do have some reasons why I color things the way they are, but it's not too. It's just from my head, I guess. Have you tried using 3D layers and camera panning to create parallax effects? It might save you some time in After Effects. Yes, I do that actually for more complicated stuff. I do that quite a bit. However, I find that when it's like really simple like this, it actually makes it more work. Because you have to like scale the layers and set them into a Z space, and this I can just set keyframes and it pretty much works fine. So, but I do that sometimes, the camera effect. Okay, there's one more thing I wanted to do here. Copy this effect from a previous shot. Put it here. These are kind of like this shot takes place in the fall, I guess, or so they're like leaves, I guess, kind of blowing around in the wind. There's too many of them here. Really, they wouldn't be that high up in the sky, but I don't think it matters too much. I'm gonna make them smaller though. I don't like how big they are. I don't like there's so much variation in them too. I might just keep them below this cloud. That might make it look a little bit better. So I just make a mask. Anyways, I'll play around with that a bit. To the person who said I should join the military, I would, but I am legally not allowed to. Sadly, it was an option I looked forward to. How old do you have to be to join the military? You have to be 21? I don't know. Is it 19? If you wanted to be a cloud, which cloud would you be? I don't know much about clouds, man. I'm sorry. I would say Nimbus cloud. I look away for 1 second, now it's raining blood. Yeah, I might, let's see here. If I change the speed a bit. You know what? Maybe I should make them going upwards. Like if I change the gravity. I wonder if I can even do that. Here, I'm gonna make them go. I don't think this, because it's the setting I'm using is CC snowfall. I think the only way to make them go upwards, unless I were to change the speed, you can't make it negative for some reason. So I'm gonna just rotate this 180 degrees. Get rid of the mask. And now I have to change the wind direction. There we go. That actually does look better. It doesn't look like it's raining blood. It kind of looks like leaves are being blown up in a gust. Too fast though, maybe. Yeah. And you know what? They shouldn't be going, like, look how big these clouds are. Like, it's like going, like, look how big the leaf is. If it's going behind that giant cloud, that's retarded. So I have to put this in front of the cloud. And now, yeah, I think it looks good. I just might want to change the variation of the sizes. I don't like how they're, yeah. Well. Probably too many of them too. Let's just tone it down a bit here. Let's just type in 45. Not bad, eh? I think this looks pretty good. I'm gonna probably touch it up some more sometime, but for now, well, you know what? See, this right here is bothering me. This cloud. It's just, so I'm gonna just open it up in Photoshop. Just add a couple dabs of black. There. And there we go. There's my bird. Yep. Hey, don't forget to turn down the oven. Oh, thanks for reminding me. I'm gonna go do that now, actually. Well, about 15 minutes, I think. If you can add some deep oranges, I think it'll look more like autumn leaves. Yeah, that's a good point. It looks too much like a red leaf right now. Should do that. All right, well, I'll do it, but not right now, though. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I think I'm going to wrap this up because it's been a while, and I got this shot finished, and I'm pretty happy with it. One of many left to do for Interface episode 13. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the stopping in, talking with me, and those who have super chatted, thank you too as well again. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.